Nice and smooth, soft. I like the front fork a lot. Whoa, I just ran over a snake. Wow, this baby is a runner. Holy cow. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for checking out this video. Today we're going to look at this Swift Horse Pro X-6E from Freesky. It's a full suspension fat tire bike with a big battery pack, a big motor, some big speed and power, but a relatively small price. Let's take a look. All right, folks, this is the Swift Horse from Freesky. Great looking bike, and they offer it in 3 different colors. This is the green. It also comes in blue or black. Current pricing is $16.49, and I'll put a link to this bike in the description below so you can find it easily. Also, if they give me any kind of discount codes, I'll include those there as well. But let's start walking through some of the components of this bike so you know what you get for your money, and I'll put the time codes below in case you want to skip ahead. The Swift Horse is rolling on CST 26x4 fat tires, and your front wheel is held on by a quick release skewer. You've got 180 millimeter disc brakes. They're hydraulic brakes. They are 4 piston calipers. And the brand says Semi-Log. I've never had these before, ever, I don't think. But man, they worked great. No complaints about the braking system at all. Worked amazing. The front suspension fork is kind of like the downhill style. It's got the double crown right here, right here. You got these little rubber stoppers so that when your steering is locked out, you don't damage your frame at all. Compression adjustment knobs on the top. And it worked great. No complaints about the front fork at all. I believe there's 120 millimeters of travel in the fork, so it gives you a pretty plush ride. The bike comes with black plastic fenders, both front and rear, and this rear fender feels like it needs one more little support here in the middle because it kind of hangs down and rubs on the tire sometimes. There was a red reflector on the back of this rack, which I took off. The reflector was actually pushing the fender down into the tire, so I took that off a little bit to give more clearance space, but it feels like it needs one more thing, maybe a zip tie or something to hold it up out of the tire. And you'll notice here at the back of the rack, there's no tail light, no brake light, no lighting system in the back of the bike, but you do get a headlight up front, nice big bright headlight on the front end. And I did get some nighttime ride footage to be able to see how well it illuminates. The battery pack is a 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery pack, and it's integrated into the frame. It slides in here from the bottom. 25 amp hours, that's pretty big. At this price point, around 1,600 bucks, normally you're getting maybe 15 amp hours, 20 if you're lucky. This one's 25, so it's kind of oversized, and it's Samsung cells, so good cells in there. Now let's take a step back and look at this frame. Great looking bike and beautiful paint job. It's like this dark metallic green with gray and cream accent colors. It's really sharp looking. It really pops. Full suspension bike. All of the graphics are underneath the clear coat, so none of this stuff is coming off, including like these warning stickers. They're all painted in there. But the frame feels great. It's very stiff, very solid, no movement in this thing at all. The bike weighs 89 pounds, at least on my scale, 89 pounds, and the weight capacity, carrying capacity is 300 pounds. Now, as far as sizing, the minimum seat height goes down to 33 inches. I did have my wife try the bike. She's 5'4". I wanted to show you what a shorter person looks like riding a 33-inch seat height. And then myself, I'm 6 feet tall. I was able to ride this comfortably, no problem. I would say it probably fit me a lot better than it fit her. So don't let the pictures online fool you. These 26x4 fat tires are much bigger when you see them in person. But now let me show you the handlebars and the controls. So you got locking rubber grips with the palm rest, a thumb throttle. I actually moved the throttle. This thumb throttle was on the left-hand side. I moved it to the right because I always want my throttle on the right hand. Underneath it, there is a horn button right there built into the throttle. Your 7-speed shifting there. Your button cluster controls all your menu and display. And I'm going to turn this on. Are you ready? Let's grab our card here, our NFC card, and we just swipe over the screen. Oh, did we get it? There it is. One swipe and the bike is turned on. So you got this NFC card. You get 2 of these with the bike. It's near field communication. So it's kind of like a proximity key. If I were, let's turn this bike off. If I were to just hold the power button to turn on the bike, it's going to ask me for the passcode. Let's do that. There, see? It wants the passcode. So it's kind of a security feature where somebody can't just walk up and hit the power button and turn on the bike. They're going to have this like smart key to unlock everything. So let's turn it back on so you can get a good look at the display. There you go. Bright, big, beautiful color display with lots of information. Because when you hit the I key, and toggle through this bottom line. It goes from odometer to trip meter to maximum speed to average speed to voltage of the battery, amps of the controller, watts that it's outputting, ride time. It gives you everything you could possibly need. So really great display. I love that. The only thing I really programmed in the bike was I went in and I changed the top speed. I just set it to like 100, just kind of unlimited. For the gearing up front, you got a 48 tooth chainring. I would have liked to see them go just a little bit larger on this. Or on the back, you got a 1428. I'd love to see that one go down to maybe an 11 tooth. Either or, just to give you a little bit more pedal feeling at the higher speed, since this bike is so fast. Once you hit, 30 miles an hour, you're kind of done pedaling at that point. You're spinning just so crazy fast. But if you just turn the pedals, you're still getting power out of the bike because it's a cadence sensor. All you gotta do is keep these pedals turning and it's gonna keep delivering you power. And for the power delivery of the pedal assist system, when you're in pedal assist 1 and 2, it's pretty calm. Once you hit 3, it really starts unleashing some power. And if you open this thing wide up, it gives you a ton of power. And that power is coming from inside here. Your controller is a 30 amp controller. That's big. I mean, normally you're getting 22. If you're lucky, maybe a 25 amp controller. This is a 30 amp controller. And that's what makes this thing so powerful. Feeding back to this 1,000 watt rear hub motor. And that's a big hub motor. Bigger than, I mean, you can noticeably tell with the naked eye that that thing's way bigger than a 750 watt motor shell. It looks large in there. And they say it does have 130 Newton meters of torque. I don't know, maybe. I mean, it feels really strong. If it's that strong, I'm not sure, but it definitely has a lot of power in this thing. And I also want to give you a close-up on this rear suspension setup. The shock in there says Fast Ace, and I don't see anything on there regarding like the spring rate, how stiff it is, but at 180 pounds, it was pretty hard for me to get much movement out of that spring. I'd probably want something a little bit softer, and I know they do sell aftermarket shocks on their website to fit this. And I think that's about all I got to show you component-wise on the bike. And yeah, I think it's time now we go take a look and see what it's like riding and experiencing the Swift Horse. All right, let's get right to it. Top speed on the Swift Horse. See where she maxes out. All right, I'm at 30 something miles an hour. I'm losing feeling in the pedals. So I'm just gonna turn the pedals. We got a cadence sensor, so just rotate the pedals, not pushing at all. 40 on the bike, 37 on GPS. Now we hit a little bit of a downhill. And on the little downhill, still holding, well, we're now to 41 now, and 38 on the bike, or 38 on the GPS. Wow, this baby is a runner. Holy cow. Woo. That's fast. That is fast. A 38 mile an hour on the GPS and like 41 on the bike. Out of a 48 volt battery system and a 1,000 watt motor. That is crazy fast. Holy cow. It's got a lot of juice. I can feel it in the motor. This thing just wants to run. It's got a lot of power. Swift Horse is definitely swift. That's a great name. Great name for this thing. It is swift. But look at the power behind this thing. So we're at, what, 12 miles an hour? See that? Look at the kick in, man. It's crazy. It's punchy. That's the best term for it, punchy. You hit that throttle, man, and it just lunges. It's ready to go. My wife would hate this bike. She hates the ones that do this, where it's so, like, you hit that throttle and it hits now, man. There's no gradual ease into it. It's just boom, let's go. If you like that, you'll love this thing. Very, very punchy throttle. But throttle only takes you to 20. That's it. We're at the 20 and it cuts out. Now, if you do want to unlock the throttle, they actually offer you a way to do it. Freesky sells a throttle unlock controller where you can like deregulate this thing, which I've never seen a company do that. Normally they cap it at 20 and you're stuck. There's no way to get around it, but they give you a way around it. You can buy that controller. I'm gonna try to get it. And then you plug that in and it takes away the limits on your throttle, which would be very cool. So 20 on the throttle, 38 on the pedals. Holy cow, this is fast. This is fast. For 48 volt and 1,000 watt motor, this thing is fast. But now we need to try something else. Let's go down to pedal assist 1 and I'm gonna bring it to a stop. And we're gonna take off pedaling in 1 just to see, like, can you even ride it at low speed? cadence to kick in. There it goes. I got like a whole rotation before it kicked in. So it was actually pretty gradual on the takeoff there, and it's holding like 9-10 miles an hour. So that's not bad, actually. I thought it was going to really struggle to ride slow, but it's fine. About 10 miles an hour, pedal assist 1, and it was kind of a gradual pickup to get there. So that's nice. You could actually ride this at low speed as well. Pedal assist 2, you know, 15, 16, 3 takes you to like 22. Yeah, now we're off and running. You really feel the power kick in at 3. I like this, the punchy, fast, powerful bikes. They really speak to me. That's my thing, man, because to me, these are just like a little electric toys. You know, I'm not commuting on it. I'm not, whatever, riding it to park my car and save the planet. I'm riding because it's a fun little electric toy. So when I get one like this, it's got tons of speed and power, man, I have a lot of fun on it. But 30 amp controller is awesome. That's fantastic. All right, we'll cut through here and then we'll get a little quick check on the suspension feel through this bumpy field. I mean, I'm on the seat. It's a little rough. These roots are a little rough. I mean, I didn't have to come off the seat. But man, the rear shock is pretty stiff. All right, we got a pretty good downhill here. Let's get some speed. Get up to into the 30s. Wow. We'll check our brakes out, see how they feel. Four piston brakes. All right, we're out of road. And brake. Ooh, very nice. I like that. That was very strong, very smooth, quiet. You can skid the back tire if you want. But very nice. Great feeling on the brakes. You need that. With this speed, you need that. I'm thankful it has the 4-piston brakes on there. Let's try our hill climb. All right, time for the hill climb. We test all the bikes are right here on the same hill, and we time them going up. And to give you a frame of reference, a 750 watt e-bike will climb this hill about 22 to 25 seconds, usually in that range, just depending on how strong they are. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Not crazy off the line, but it's building speed nicely now. Up to 12 miles an hour already. 13. It's going to have a good time. 14. A little steeper right here. And we cut the time. Now. Strong. Very strong. No problem. No problem at all for this bike. You got lots of hill climb power, and that's throttle only, you know, the bike doing all the work. I'm not helping it at all. I mean, it feels like it handles pretty nice. I keep asking for a throttle. And then we're going 27, it only goes to 20. So I'm gonna have to get that controller to unlock this throttle. It feels very sturdy. Those big, tall, double crown forks. It's full suspension, but the frame feels real stiff. Kind of a little bit more of aggressive ride position. You kind of lean over a little bit on it. Probably helps for the feeling, but yeah, you can really, feels nice. I like that. And it seems to be pretty locked on. Like, this is one of those bikes where I could ride 10 miles like this, no-handed. It holds straight. Doesn't want to fall to either side. It's very easy to steer and maneuver this thing no-handed. That's always a good thing. Good thing. You feel very confident, very stable on it. All right, see if we can't show you what an acceleration looks like on this Swift horse. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. Good, strong pull. You know, it's nothing crazy off the line. The power seems to kick in more when you're in pedal assist 3 and up. 1 and 2 are kind of calm. Forks feel good. Nice and smooth, soft. I like the front fork a lot. Really like that. The rear shock is pretty darn stiff though. That one, let's see if I can try to show you in front of my drone here. It's pretty stiff. Yeah, I mean, there's a little movement. It takes the sting out of some of the bumps, but I think it needs to have a little bit more for me and my weight. Give you a little feel for the brakes here. Very nice brakes. They're super strong. Total 180. All right, I've lost a little bit of power and speed here. I'm not sure why. I'm in pedal assist 5, and the most it gives me is 13 amps. If I look at the watts, 650 watts. I mean, it was before giving me like 1300 at a max. So all of a sudden my watts and amps have been like cut in half. So I'm not sure why. Maybe I got it too hot, because I was riding the heck out of this thing 40 miles an hour for a bit. Maybe I overheated a little. Now we're up to 700 watts. Maybe let's try this. I'm gonna go over in the park here. We're gonna let it cool down for 5 minutes, and we'll see if it has anything to do with temperature or not. All right, we took a 5-minute break, and then we took about a good 10 minutes of just really low speed, chill riding like this, and let things cool down, and my power's back. We're now back to the hard-hitting, punchy power with 1300 plus watts. So back to full power. I think it was just heat. You know, you got the controller inside the bottom bracket in that box down here. So there's no airflow to the controller. It's not getting cooled down. The motor was, you know, a little warm to the touch after that. I mean, I was riding this thing hard, 40 miles an hour for a good 10 miles of just pushing this thing to its limits. So I think I generated a little too much heat. And I mean, good to know, there's a safety feature in there. If it gets too hot, it cut the power in half, basically. I was still able to go 30 miles an hour. I was like, why am I only going 30? Because I was doing like 37. So it basically cut the power in half while the temperature was too high. So a lot of bikes, once they get hot, they'll just shut down. They just shut off. This one cut down to half power. So I guess that's how you know if you're riding it too hard. If the power goes way down, you know, give it a 5-minute break, let it cool off, right? Let it cool down. So good to know. Time for the off-road portion. Whoa, I just ran over a snake. Yowza. Oh man. A big black snake, solid black snake. What kind of snake is that? I hit him mid-back. Wow. All right, that was a little freaky. I've never done that before. Yeah, I definitely want a little softer shock, but it's not too bad. It kind of rattles though. The derailleur and the rear fender is rattling a lot. That needs to be a little bit more secure. Oh man. So it's got a little bit of rattle to it. But wow, I mean, geez, I was barely pedaling there. It's pulling me right out of there. Yeah, you can off-road this thing. All right, we're approaching our steep hill climb here. I've got it in mechanical gear number 2, but let's give it a test here and see how she does. This is a tough hill. This is a challenging hill. So it's giving me 14 if I push it the whole way. Now I'm getting 18. I'm pedaling firmly, but not like crazy. 17 amps. I mean, this is super easy. Super easy. Now it's off to the races. Yeah, I mean, no problem. No problem for this bike. All right, let's jump out on this country road here and let her gallop a little bit. You ready? Let's go, horsey. Show me what you got. This is like a 45-mile-an-hour road, so I gotta get some speed here. Woo, man. 37. All right, so no street lamps, no headlights. We're just in the middle of the woods here in the park. Gives you a really nice beam pattern. Might need to adjust it up a little bit so I can see further ahead, but the headlight works great. There is no tail light and there is no brake light, which is a bummer. Luckily, I got a helmet on that has a tail light on the back of it. So I wish they would add a tail light and brake light to this, but the headlight works fantastic. You can see pretty well. Let me see if I can angle it up. I don't know how far it goes down the path. Yeah, it goes a really good distance. I mean, I can see probably a good 30 meters in front of me, easy. So, nice bright headlight. And I guess you just have to buy a little battery-powered taillight to clip on. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed watching the ride experience on the Swift Horse. I know I had a good time filming it for you. But I just want to give you my overall impression of this bike. And that is, at the $1,600-ish price point. I think this thing is going above and beyond its competition in several areas. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean. Things you don't normally find on a bike at this price point. You got the double crown downhill suspension forks with a good amount of travel and the compression adjustment. And you got the NFC card here, the little security thing that turns on your screen. A big battery pack. I mean, 25 amp hour battery pack is bigger than normal at that price point, I would say. And it's Samsung cells, good cells. It's a full suspension bike. You've got a 1,000-watt motor instead of 750. A big controller. I mean, 30-amp controller instead of 22. And I mean, the thing goes 35 miles an hour. Most of the bikes in that range, that price range, are going to be capped at the 28, class 3 limit. Or some of them even at 25 miles an hour. And this thing goes 35. So it's exceeding its competition, I think, in a number of areas and giving you pretty good value for the money, I think. There's just some upgraded features you're getting here at that base price level, like the 4-piston brakes. You don't always get 4-piston. They're becoming more popular, but typically it's just those, Tektro E350 brakes that every single bike has. So the brakes were really nice on this one. Now, upgrades are another thing to discuss. That's one thing I like about the Freesky website is that they offer you aftermarket solutions for the bikes. Give you a couple examples. The throttle. It's a thumb throttle with a horn button built into the throttle. Now, I'm a twist throttle guy, so if I want to go buy a twist throttle on Amazon, it's not going to work. I can't just put that on the bar and plug it in. It's not going to fit right. But they do sell a twist throttle with the horn button on the website, so you can change that out. Same with the ride position. I said I wanted the bars higher. They sell a stem riser on the website. I wanted a softer shock. They sell aftermarket shocks on the website. I wanted to get rid of the 20-mile-an-hour limit on the throttle, which I know myself and other folks don't like that much. They sell a throttle unlock controller. So it's great that they're offering solutions to, I guess, common issues, common problems right on the website, and it's gonna fit the bike. That's one of the big problems with buying aftermarket parts and pieces for your bike. You're always worried, is it going to fit? Well, they're gonna fit this bike. Now let's wrap things up with the power. I've been saying it over and over and over how powerful and fast this bike is. And that's not for everyone, right? If you're looking to go cruise the bike path and greenway at 10 miles an hour and take in the scenery, this bike will be total overkill for you. But if you're looking for something strong on the hills, you want to do high-speed commuting, or you're like me, you just love the fun of having that much speed and power behind the throttle, then this thing's going to be right up your alley. I mean, I can get this bike to go 37 miles an hour. That's on par with some way more expensive, way more powerful bikes in my garage. I've got other bikes in here that do 37, 40 miles an hour, but they're doing it with 60-volt batteries and larger controllers and motors that peak at 3,000 watts. And some of them have dual motors. And this thing is doing it with a 48-volt battery and a 1,000-watt motor. I mean, it's punching way above its weight class in terms of the speed and the power, and it's doing it for like $500 to $1,000 less than those bikes. So I was quite impressed with the Swift Horse, but don't buy this bike because I like it. Please do your research, watch other people's videos on the Swift Horse and hear what they've got to say about it. If I missed something, you got questions, put it in the comments section. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. And I hope you found this video helpful, informative, maybe entertaining to watch. If you did, consider hitting subscribe and coming back for more. Thanks.